Hi, today I'm just going to give you a quick update on the process that I've been going through to donate my kidney. I'm going to condense it, but you're going to hear some frustration in my voice because I have had to jump through hoops to donate my kidney to somebody I don't know. Starting last March, I put my application into Northwestern to donate my kidney. It took months and months for them to call me back. I thought they had rejected me. They finally called me back and asked, me questions. And I said, yeah, I'm still interested in doing this. So they, they had me fill out some more things and asked me a bunch of questions. And then once again, I didn't hear anything back for weeks and weeks and months. And I would call occasionally and they'd say, oh, they acted really like everything was, I don't know, passing me to other people. And then, well, your nurse left and she doesn't work here anymore. And so basically, finally, around October, I got a call saying, before this, I had to release my medical records. It took weeks and weeks for them to call me back on that. They finally called back and said, you can go ahead and get tested. In the meantime, I had kind of gone on to a page and joined a page called Kidney Recipient and Donor page on Facebook. And I asked a few questions, and some people were contacting me about me giving them my kidney, which I thought was strange, but at the same time, it's like, this is their life. I see now that they're not getting results from their hospitals, so they're trying to find a kidney for themselves. And the first person I tried to help in California, I called UC San Diego, and I filled out the application, never got a call from them. And I feel bad for that woman in California because they never called me. And I thought, like I do most things, well, that's a sign, God's got someone different for you. And then, so finally Northwestern says we're ready to set up a testing date. So I set up a testing date, went down there at the crack of dawn. That was my last video. Spent all day in testing, and then they said, well, we'll get back to you in like next Tuesday. We're staffing you, talking about your case. 2 weeks go by, and I'm calling them, and they're saying, yeah, everything looks good. We just need some more urine tests and another blood test. And so, all right, so it's December now, and I'm going the day before Christmas to get these urine tests done because my heart is still to donate. But I'm realizing, I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm getting like, my gosh, they don't call me, I call them. I'm losing faith in the hospital of how they're going to even treat me as a patient if I'm a donor at this point, because their lack of calling back, their lack of calling me, keeping me updated. Okay, and so I understand this is a long process, and some of these transplant places are probably overworked, understaffed. But I think, people waiting for a kidney donation would be mortified and upset to know that all this is happening to their possible donor. At this point, I think, honestly, with all the things I had gone through, and all the time I waited and all the lack of calling back, most people, I think, would give up at this point. And I asked myself, what am I doing this for still? But my heart is still to donate. I can't deny the way I feel about something. So my heart is so strong about it. I've done all my research. I got my husband on board finally, and he was very resistant, my family. I'm confident about it, and still no calls back. So finally, from November, I did my part, and January they finally call me. I call them. They call me back. Say, yeah, you're approved to donate. Great. Thinking, let's do it. Let's go for it then, and they're like, we're going to try and get something going here. And I'm excited, and so I'm thinking, I'm going to have to donate soon and go through surgery. So I'm kind of preparing my life and my husband's life and trying to see, can you take a week off for me? And weeks and weeks go by, nothing. So I'm thinking, how in the world am I not matching anyone in the whole United States that needs a kidney? There has to be a match somewhere. So I call Northwestern after 2 months, and they're like, well, we'll pass you to the nurse. There's no nurse in. They'll call me back. This happened so many times that it just became normal to be blown off and to not get called. So finally she calls back and says, yeah, we don't have you down for the National Kidney Registration. I'm thinking, I tell her, I thought the whole time I was on a national registry. I mean, I'm thinking the next person who desperately needs a kidney, I'll give my kidney to. I want someone to live, right? She says, no, you have to, you're gonna have to let me ask. So 2 weeks later, she calls back and says, yeah, I asked, and to be on the UNOS, so the National Kidney Donation Registry, you have to fill more stuff out and you have to get 2 more tests done. In the meantime, in the 2 months I waited, I talked to a woman in North Carolina that really deserves a kidney. And so I contacted Duke University where she goes, and I filled out everything. I talked to people. They were kind of really good about calling me back. I felt good about that. They switched me over to the financial person. And because I can't pay for this to travel somewhere to donate my kidney. As it is, I'm going to be incapacitated for a month at least, 6 to 8 weeks more likely. And I just can't take my family's money to do this altruistic thing that I want to do. So I'm assuming that the hospital or the recipient's insurance will pay to get me to North Carolina. It's hard enough to go to North Carolina to donate your kidney because my husband has to take off work. I have to travel back home. But I was willing to do it, and I'm pursuing it still. The financial guy he wants my W-2 and all these weird things, so I send it. And then he lets me know that I've been turned down or declined for financial help to donate my kidney because we make too much money. I'm thinking, what does my money have to do with, why would I pay money and take it away from my family to donate my kidney? Now, I'm not being harsh here, but I'm saying there has to be something set up for an altruistic donor to get to the place and be taken care of and sent home from the place after I've given my kidney. You can see how frustrated I am. I'm not frustrated for me. I'm not done with this. I still feel like this is the plan and I need to be doing it. But I'm frustrated that at this point they've turned me down, and then they stop calling me back. Now I can't even get answers on what alternative ways I could fund this. I'm talking to the woman. She's saying, what do you need? I'm like, I at least need flights. They want me there twice. And anyway, long story short here, I'm worried about this system. I know it's places have big caseloads, and it has to go through the right things. Things have to be approved and tested, but the lack of calling someone back, I just think about the person who's waiting for a kidney transplant. They're waiting for the call, and these hospitals are totally dropping the ball on someone who would give their kidney. 150 people a year will donate their kidney without knowing the person. I feel like there's balls being dropped in this process in these hospitals, and the people who are on dialysis or dying every day from kidney failure are being let down. This has to be better. I'm not sure if I'm hearing it's not just my hospital, it's a lot of hospitals. And I've seen it at least 3 different hospitals now, major hospitals, mind you, university hospitals, that send you back and forth to all these people that don't call you back, that don't give you any more information when you're turned down for financial help. It's crazy. I've talked to you for 10 minutes. I don't want to take any more of your time, but I'm frustrated. And my heart is to still do this, but normal people would not go through all this. I think, why am I doing this? I'm sure my family thinks, why are you doing this? They know my heart though, and they know I really want to do this. I just pray that something comes through. Maybe it's the timing thing. I just hope I can help somebody. I guess when I first started on this journey, I really thought that it would be like, take my kidney, give it to somebody to save their life. It would be smoother. It would be not as much work as I put into it. Anything worth anything is going to take work, right? So I'm just going to keep going with this. I'll let you guys know the next step. I'm being put on the National Registry. I'd like to kick off a chain of donations, and I'll let you know as I know, but it's a very short, but it's a very long process, and I don't think it's being handled. I think they're dropping the ball on donors for the people who need us the most, and I think they need to do better.